athlete. If you weren't paying attention, it was easy to underestimate her strength and ability. I loved being around her. We laughed and joked through long practices together. On the nights before races, our tradition was to get together at my house to eat something sweet and share some time together off of the water. Maria was always late. I would throw open the windows and yell at the top of my voice. We didn't have cell phones in those days. Maria, Maria! And always I would hear back from a block or so away, I'm coming! She said it with a chuckle in her voice. That boat won an Eastern Sprint's third varsity gold and a silver at the head of the Charles. Maria went on to stroke the varsity boat the next year, taking the team to its first varsity gold medal ever. Maria was a talented team builder. She didn't have an ego, and you never felt she was competing with you personally, but only on behalf of the team. Humble, yet such a powerhouse, whimsical Maria was a quietly fierce, unrelenting competitor. Maria was an intellectual. Always thoughtful and incredibly articulate, she was calmly opinionated. Quirky and sometimes absent-minded, while being scary bright. She was a Fulbright scholar who sometimes couldn't remember where she parked her car. She listened carefully to others and was intellectually adventurous, always being open-minded about considering other ideas. A talented problem solver, Maria could quickly identify what needed to be done and roll up her sleeves and do it. Maria was a mother. Let me say that one again, this time in bold capital letters, mother. This role took root like no other for Maria. Her children were her greatest joy, and she made them the center of her life. Maria wasn't an overprotective, hovering kind of mother. She was calm and persistent, and she wanted her kids to have real childhoods, while still giving them so many tools to thrive in life. Sports, academics, music, togetherness, a fantastic community to grow up in. Travel to distant lands filled with oodles of cousins and friends. These were the gifts Maria gave to her children. Maria loved to be outside, cross-country skiing with Balint in tow, rowing on the Cayuga River with Jofi, and taking to Bellage to yet another hockey tournament. Many people lose their parents and spend the rest of their lives wondering, did they really love me? Was I good enough for them? Balint, Jofi, and Bellage, you never need to ask yourself those questions. Your mother loved the three of you to the moon and back, and all around the universe infinity times. Your mom's love is indestructible and will always be with you as you journey forward through life. Maria was a true wife and partner. Maria and Tivadar had a solid and real relationship. I watched the two of them in action, finding doctors, planning chemo, and going through surgery. Maria was so very wise in choosing Tivadar. He was the strong ship which carried her all the way home through stormy seas. During the many doctor's appointments, Tivadar was there with his notebook, the latest research in hand, with a list of questions ready. I think Tivadar was the best doctor and nurse Maria had, and he is the reason she outlived her prognosis by so many years. Tivadar was an even match for Maria's intellect. I loved to watch them discussing politics or science. They really listened to each other's viewpoints and respected each other's opinions. Maria held down the fort while Tivadar worked in Green Bay, and then on to New York. They both prioritized their family above all else and made the commitment to stay in Ithaca and grow strong roots even when Tivadar's career took him elsewhere. Maria was a daughter, a sister to Anthony, a beloved niece, and a cousin. Maria's extended Hungarian family figured large in her life. Always engaged with her mom, Maria watched out for her and relied on her too. Maria's frequent trips to visit her favorite Aunt I'm going to mutilate this, Aunt Mucci, her extended cousins, and her friends were weeks long and filled with shared meals and a deep sense of pride in her traditional Hungarian background. So what is the takeaway from Maria for all of us as we leave here today? I'm going to quote Maria on this one. Maria wrote, "Don't wait until the conditions are perfect, but rather try to make space in your life for things and experiences that matter to you. Appreciate all the blessings we often take for granted." Maria did make space for what was most important to her, and that was, of course, all the people who are here in this room today. All of us were so very lucky to be touched by Maria, and she was touched by us. What Maria called an incredible mix of people made the fabric of her life, and her humanity was a gift for all of us. I will always remember her face, her elfin smile with its elegant European cheekbones, and her smiling brown eyes with her beautiful, quirky, big-hearted, loyal, humble soul shining out. Maria, you are sorely missed, and I know we all feel so very lucky to have had you in our lives, if for even too short a time. We put together some footage for you all from an interview done with Maria a year ago about the crew team.
And soccer in high school, and I wasn't very talented at any of them, not enough to do it in college. In the end, I think it was just sort of an accident that I found rowing because I wasn't very tall, so I wasn't picked out of the line at registration. I didn't really think I was going to stay with it because people were they sort of spoke about how tough it was, and it sounded pretty intense. But then I think I somehow just got hooked on it, and I really love it. I think I was always just so lucky to be with these incredible mix of people that when we were rowing at Brown, there was something about that experience where you just felt so alive, so in the moment. I mean, there was a sort of simplicity and beauty. Even though rowing seems very fierce, it's also very meditative. At that point, I was like, I just want to be able to row, and I don't care where I am, and I loved it. It wasn't like you were motivated because of your coach. It was like you were motivated because of your teammates and yourself. That you sort of internalized this drive. But then there's another part of it that has to do with being able to really focus and have discipline on race day, and that requires sort of a mental toughness. There was many lessons that we learned without realizing we were learning them. Yeah, there's a part of me that when I received my diagnosis, I was 42, and it was, I had a 2-year-old. It was March of 2009, and it was pretty dire. I had stage 4 cancer and a very aggressive kind of breast cancer called inflammatory breast cancer. And I think it really helped me kind of it just helped me sort of power through some very unpleasant times. And a lot of my teammates either came to visit me or called or sent things, and it really felt like it wasn't like I was alone. That was definitely something that I think helped me. I mean, I don't think I was always consciously thinking about it, but I do think that there's some lesson learned. I mean, in this country anyway, most of us live very comfortable lives. I mean, we're climate controlled, we don't have to walk anywhere. We really, if we want, don't have to deal with physical, unpleasant situations. And I think with rowing, it really, I really love the sense that, we would go out no matter what the weather was, and we would just brave the elements. And then you'd get back and you'd be like, oh my God, like I can't feel my fingers or my toes, or, what the hell were we doing out there? Like the rain was freezing on our jackets. But then there was this sort of pride of like, I can do that. And I think that that was one of the reasons I just fell in love with it. And it really just becomes sort of something that you're able to kind of endure through it. And at the same time, on the other side, you see that, you know, then there's these benefits that you reap when your team does well and your coach has a little smile, or, you know, it's all worth it. In some ways, I feel like rowing is this sisterhood. It's very strange to talk about this by myself here because I feel like